Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. When I'm opening the front pages, when I'm on the internet trying to inform myself about my beloved Juventus, but also about football in general, well, like a human being, like a person, just like you, just like me, there are things that I love to see, that I love to read, there are things that I don't like to read. There are things that I really hate to read. Well, I love, for example, when yesterday I was on social media and I see the fantastic gesture of Cristiano Ronaldo. What did he do? Well, yesterday in Champions League, the Asian Champions League, he was rewarded a penalty in the beginning of the game. He went to the referee and he said, no, it's not a penalty. Take it back. The referee was obliged to take it back after that decision of Cristiano Ronaldo of going to the referee. I think that it was a really beautiful gesture that was not common, and it was worth mentioning it here on the channel because it's easy to do it on a 4-0 in the last minutes of the game, but on a 0-0 in the beginning, not a lot of people would have done it. So I love to see that news. I don't like to see, for example, Corriere dello Sport title, because today is Champions League, but instead of focusing on that, they are putting Max Allegri, angry in big, within small Antonio Conte in a Juve jersey with a big title, L'ultimo Allegri, the last Allegri. I don't like the title at all. Is it the news that it will be the last year of Allegri that I don't like? No, not that much. But it's the title in this particular moment of the season. I will explain you everything about Antonio Conte, Max Allegri. I will speak about the possible reinforcement in January for a new player. If you want to maximum of like, it's now the moment to do it. If you want to continue to subscribe, if you believe that this channel can inform you, but also entertain you about our beloved Juventus, it's the moment, because now we start with Corriere dello Sport, L'ultimo Allegri, the last Allegri. Ok, ragazzi. I don't like the news. I don't like the news at all. Why? Because if you know me, you know that my philosophy has always been a team can only win when they have a strong management. When everyone is going toward the same direction. Ownership, management, technical staff, including the coach, players, and everyone that is surrounding the club. If you have one objective, if everyone agrees and everyone is strong in believing what we can do, that's the moment where you can become a strong club. We saw it recently with a weaker management or without management at all at a certain moment, the difficulties of Juventus off the field and on the field. If today, after so long, Juventus is again competing for something, if for the first time ever you have not a next-gen project, but you have a captain of the team, that is Adrien Rabiot, that is coming out in press conference post-game after Inter telling you in the locker room, we are all united and we believe that we can compete and we will try to win that Scudetto. It's not the moment of speaking about the last year of Massimiliano Allegri. It's absolutely not the appropriate moment, because this creates chaos and this creates huge problems. Because you know it. From the moment that we are speaking about the last year of a coach in a club, that's the moment where the people, the players that are unsatisfied about the minutes that they have or whatever, or players that are not really agreeing with the philosophy of a coach, the way of playing, etc., they will start thinking, and it's natural, it's a human behavior. I will not do the extra mile because at the end, the coach will leave at the end of the season. That I'm playing well, that I'm playing bad, who cares, because it will be another coach there. If we were speaking about a Juventus that at the moment was 11th, a Juventus that was far from that top 4, that was not competing for the Scudetto, I could have understood it, because this is part of the job. You are criticized when you are not doing well. Today I'm not speaking about the way of playing of Max Allegri, because there are so many things to improve at Juventus. Offensive patterns, way of playing, whatever you want to, and all the criticisms are allowed. This is not about what do you want to see next year. We are speaking about this year. And I don't like the moment because it's not appropriate. Why are we speaking about that news on 28th of November? Because on Sunday, Ivan Zazzaroni spoke on Italian television saying this will be the last year of Max Allegri. Not only he spoke about it on television, but today, Tuesday morning, instead of focusing on Lazio or Milan that are playing important game in Champions League, well, he's going with l'ultimo Allegri. Max lascerà la Juve a fine stagione. It's not a question. He's saying Max will leave Juventus at the end of the season with big certainties, putting Antonio Conte in a Juve jersey. What did he really say? He said, and the reason why we know it, there is a friendly relationship between the two, between Max and Ivan Zazzaroni. He came out saying this will be the last season of Max. He will leave at the end of the season. Why? Because there are not the conditions anymore for Max to stay. He is linked to an old Juventus, to another Juventus that is not there anymore. He's doing a fantastic job with a limited depth of squad. He should arrive in top 4. Then if something will arrive on top of that top 4, meaning winning the Scudetto, winning the Coppa Italia, well, that will be a problem for the future because some people could possibly have some regrets. Max has difficulties to recognize himself, to find himself well in a diverse Juve. Now, did he say something wrong? Let's go step by step, in detail. Max Allegri, we know it, he comes back after Andrea Agnelli is calling him back. Andrea Agnelli, Pavel Nedved, arriva bene. I believe Paratici is still at the time. Not sure about that. I think he went to Tottenham anyway. In a Juventus that is not there anymore because the board of the members board, all resigned. They are not at Juve anymore. They left Juventus. And we have now a President Ferrero, a Scanavino, a Calvo, a Cristiano Giuntoli. So it's a total different Juventus in the way, in the persons, first of all, and also in the objectives. When he talked with Agnelli, it was just right after COVID, there were again some plans how to go back to a Juventus without Cristiano Ronaldo that could compete again. If you saw the Mercato of last year with ready-to-go players a la Pogba, Di Maria, Paredes, we saw that this year we had no Mercato, and the future plans of Juve, we already spoke about it, the objectives is still the same. Being the king of Italy and going and compete in Europe in a lapse of time that is not short term but probably medium term, long term. How do we do it? That's the big difference. Without ready to go player, without the experienced player that knows the league, that knows their role, etc., but with players that are unknown yet, that still have a lot of things to prove, that are younger, that are sustainable, part of them coming from our own youth sector, which is a beautiful project, which is fantastic, because it's sustainable, because you are even more proud when you are building your players at home, because you have a lot more recognition, because it's really beautiful to go for. But we know Max Allegri, this is not Max Allegri. He's accepting it, he's doing the best he can with what he has this season, and we clearly see it, launching players like Nicolussi in Juve Inter. He did the same last year with Fagioli, first debut start as a starter in Inter Juve. He's doing it with Barrenechea against Torino. He's letting the youth playing. And you will tell me, Beppe, but we didn't see a lot of Huijsen. We didn't... Okay, you can discuss about a lot of things. But he's launching players, sometimes out of necessity, sometimes because he's believing he's the right choice. At the moment, with what he has, we are at -2 from the first one of Serie A, which is Inter. We are competing. And I believe that these news are absolutely not appropriate at the moment. What are the whys? Why is Max Allegri still here at Juventus? You know it, I never believed that he would be there in 23-24, but he is. First of all, because when the board of members resigned last year, well, Juventus was looking for stability, continuity, at least in the sporting side, because there was no Cristiano Giuntoli, because Max Allegri, you like him, you don't like him, at least he's bringing you home the minimal. And he has always done it. In the 8 years of Juve, the 5 years winning, the other 2 years qualifying at least on the field on Champions League, he's someone that is bringing you back, at least with what he has, without complaining too much, the minimal objective. One. Secondly, because financially it would have been a disaster to dismiss a coach continuing to pay him without the financial power to go for another strong technical staff on the market. It was impossible. We did all the maths. The third one, also because of Max Allegri, because he didn't want to leave a Juve in difficulty without winning again. Personally, also because he didn't want to leave as a loser, because he perfectly know if he leaves without winning, he will be remembered for the last 3 seasons and not for the first 5 seasons, and he can't accept it. He wants to bring back Juve to a winning title, and that's why I believe that it's important to take away these negative voices at the moment, because now we are still believing it, like the locker room, like Rabiot, like some supporters start to believe in something bigger. It's time now to be all united, like we did last year at the end of the season, uniti, tutti uniti, towards one objective instead of going with what will happen there. Attenzione can be extremely dangerous. Now it's true. Different persons, different vision. Max Allegri could potentially leave. Is it the moment to speak about it? According to me, absolutely not. What about Antonio Conte? Antonio Conte, we know it. He wants to go back at Juve. It's not a secret. We all know it. He refused Napoli, a team that he said that one day he would love to coach, but he refused it. He's still available. He's still informing himself about football. And the difference with a year ago is that now he's publicly sending messages of love towards Juve. It's not a secret that he wants to come. Now, Antonio Conte, I believe that the timing to speak about these kind of things are absolutely inappropriate, because you have to respect who is on the bench there. You can do it privately. You can even have some talks. You can even have an agreement if you want to. Like Ilario from Radio was saying yesterday, according to their sources, Antonio Conte will be the coach of Juve 24-25, and there is already an agreement in place between them. Privately, you can do whatever you want. Publicly, I don't like it. Now, what about Antonio Conte? What about Max Allegri? What is my opinion? Because as a content creator, I have to give my opinion. Well, regarding these news, I will tell you one thing that I always said. I support Juventus. And for me, the institution, the club, is bigger than every single individual. Ronaldo, Dybala, Vlahovic, Chiesa, Del Piero, Torricelli, Ravanelli, all important persons of Juve that I will always love. But the club is more important than a Lippi, than a Conte, than an Allegri. Whoever will be on the bench will always receive my support. That doesn't mean that I can't criticize them. I will criticize them when they are doing bad. On the other side, I will wish the best for them, because if they have the best, that means that my club is winning. So if Max Allegri decided it's the last time, I accept it. It's good. It's okay. If the club decided it's the last year of Max Allegri, I accept it. If the club believes that Antonio Conte is the next coach, even if, you know it, a few months ago I didn't even spoke about it, I didn't even wanted it, I will accept it. And I will wish the best to Antonio Conte. But please, at one condition, that things are kept in-house and not on the papers, because that will create a lot of chaos in a year where, again, we start having that belief that we can do something more. Anyway, I didn't like other things. Yesterday I made a video, 2 videos by the way, but the first one in the morning I spoke about Dusan Vlahovic, dividing 50% of fantastic, beautiful words spent for our number 9, and the 50 other percent speaking about the things that I wish were better, like his celebration that was more individual than collective, like the second half performance where we see it with stats. He had 66% of success passes, so pass accuracy of 66%, and his reload missed a lot of passes, missed a lot of control. But I spoke a lot well about Dusan Vlahovic. Well, in the comments yesterday, I didn't appreciate a lot of people that did a bit what Gazzetta dello Sport is doing, forgetting, omitting that part and going only on the negative. I didn't appreciate it, because otherwise you will start picturing me as an anti-this player. And this is absolutely not correct, because I'm happy when our players are doing well. We need the goals of our number 9. I want Vlahovic to be a fantastic striker, which according to me at the moment at Juventus he's not. He has the potential. I didn't want Lukaku, I wanted Vlahovic to stay. So don't try to manipulate things in the comment section, because that's not fair. And speaking and linking it to Cristiano Ronaldo, I was sad that Cristiano Ronaldo left Juve, you know it. I have always been a Cristiano Ronaldo, not a fanboy, but a fan over Messi. I don't like Messi that much. As a person, as a leader, as a captain, as a player, he's fantastic. What can you say? But I always prefer Cristiano Ronaldo. But I thought that when Cristiano Ronaldo left from Juve, fanboys discussion on the channel would have left as well. And I don't want them to come back. First with Dybala, now with Dusan Vlahovic, that would not be correct. Because here on the channel, you know it, club over individual players. Anyway, we have to speak about something else. Capello this morning in Gazzetta dello Sport spoke in an interview, And he actually said what I said yesterday after that draw, Juve-Inter, saying Inter was not courageous enough, they were not brave enough, and that draw will be more beneficial for Juve. For what reason? Because that draw will give trust, will give confidence in Allegri and his team that they can compete against Inter and they can compete for a bigger title. So I wanted just to tell you that not only Beppe told this, but also Capello, that he knows a bit about football. Tuttosport is going with Mercato. Max, hai vinto il rinforzo. Max, you won the player that will strengthen the team to continue to believe, because at the moment after the draw of Inter we are still at -2, we are not at -5. We can dream about something bigger, we can still have that desire of winning. Well, you deserved a player, a top player. Now, I have to say that in the list of players that I see from Tuttosport, I don't really see a top player. Instead, they are focusing on Berardi, on Fabian Ruiz, on De Paul, with in detail saying that there are ongoing discussion with De Paul and with Fabian Ruiz. They are also speaking about outgoing market, about Nicolosi that could go on loan because he needs playing time, about Ealing Jr., etc., etc. Well, we need a reinforcement. Yesterday, in the second video of the day, I said we need a player that has not the number 10 role on the field, but at least some skills of a number 10, that last pass, that creative pass, that technical ability in a midfield that is lacking of it at the moment. And Juventus is looking for it. Will it arrive or not? I have no idea. Speaking about reinforcement, there will be a reinforcement for Monza because looks like Danilo yesterday trained totally with the team and he could be there, which is good, which is extremely good. Why? Because our defenders, Gatti, Rogani, Bremer, they played now for I believe 7 games consecutively, and having again a leader on the field would not be bad. Would it be instead of Rogani? Would it be instead of Gatti? The coach will decide, but that's a good one. Other news that we can speak about at the moment is that today there will be the Champions League. Lazio will play, Milan will play. On Gazzetta dello Sport, you are speaking about Milan with All'Attacco Milan that is playing against Dortmund. What is the reason for Juventini to support Dortmund and not Milan? It's because of that huge World Cup for clubs that will be played in 2025, where 12 European teams will qualify. At the moment, we know it, Juventus is 11th in the ranking UEFA, is 10th in the ranking FIFA. We do not know at the moment which ranking will be chosen. What we know is 2 clubs maximum per country will be selected, and at the moment in both rankings Juventus is the one. But pay attention, we are not playing any competition in Europe, we can't increase our points, while Milan, more than Napoli, could potentially reach and overtake Juventus. So we have to be against Milan because we want to go to that World Cup that will bring not only cash but also brand recognition. Super important. So if you want the reason to support, and if you didn't know who to support, you know that you have to support the yellow and black team from Germany. Anyway, that was it for me, for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Maximum of like, continue to subscribe to the channel. Grazie, forza, Juve.